And welcome to the show. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Carter.
Welcome back.
I forget, man. How's it going? How's everyone doing on this wonderful Saturday morning? Enrique?
I'm eating
Oh.
and drinking and being merry. Cheers.
He's gay. I don't know.
How
you been?
That's a weird pivot. How did you go?
I don't know. I had, like I said, I have the stupid Death Becomes Her soundtrack in my head.
See, this is what happens when we
I
don't
do
record
it
for like
the
a month.
gays.
Like we didn't record for a month and then suddenly you fall back on gay jokes.
No, it's not a gay joke, but okay.
Kind of what?
Gaze. Like, eye gaze. Never mind. Anyhow, how you been?
Gay, apparently.
Well, that shirt on you, Spacehogs. Did I tell you the story about Spacehogs? I think I did.
Did not tell me a story about space.
The first time I saw Spacehogs was on Conan O'Brien's Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
And he came on, and I was like, oh, this band's going to be the biggest thing. They're going to be like huge, right? And then the following night was the premiere of Weezer. And I'm like, oh, cool song, but they're not going anywhere. That's what I thought. And it's funny because, I mean, both bands are still going on, but Weezer has a lot more pop fame than Spacehogs, although I do prefer Spacehogs.
So, okay, but Weezer came out years before, though. I mean, like, I remember Weezer's first album came out when I was must have been a freshman.
Spacehogs too?
No.
I was a sophomore when I saw
Spacehog came. Their first album was released in 1995.
Yeah,
Resident Alien, and Weezer's first album was released in 92.
Well, I saw them both on Conan.
Yeah, but
and around the same time.
I'm just saying that your perspective is skewed because by 95, Weezer was already a really big band, and Spacehog was just getting started, and they became really big fast because their song in the meantime it just blew up. But here's the thing: the interesting thing about the band was all the guys in the band are from Leeds, England, right? Mm-hmm. But they met in New York. Okay, weird. So and there's two brothers in the band, Royston Langdon and I forget the other guy.
Royston. No,
right. So Royston Langdon is the lead singer. He's the younger of the brothers. And what happened was that the guitarist, who's his other brother, had met the drummer in New York. They met like at a cafe or whatever, and the drummer apparently was like a rat killer, and they just started going to
rat killer.
Yeah, he was paid to kill rats. So they started hanging out like a strip clubs and started jamming. And when they invited the younger brother to join them, that's kind of when the energy clicked and they became a big band. In the meantime was their biggest hit, and it took a while before Britain recognized them because initially Britain thought that they were an American band.
Right.
It wasn't until their second album, the Chinese album, that
they thought they were Chinese.
Right. Who writes your material?
Isaac.
Isaac. We see what he did. Man, he could throw you under the bus, guy.
Anyway, go on.
Well, so the Chinese album is what made him popular in Britain. But that, for me, it's interesting because it says the difference between American audiences and British audiences, especially in the 90s. Because when you listen to Resident Alien, it sounds very much of the time and like of American music. It was kind of a pastiche of like glam rock, only slight hints of like the modern stuff that like was going to become grunge. But the Chinese album sounds very Britpopish, right? Because it's actually a concept album. There's a story in it. I don't understand it, but there's a story in it. And their biggest hit from that album, well, two of them, was Mungo City. It's a great rock tune. And then I want to say the other one was Carry On. And then their
Wayward Son.
No. So third song was Michael Stipe did backup, or they did like duet on a song called Almond Kisses, which is phenomenal. But every song on that Chinese album sounds very British in the sense that it's very poppy, it's very catchy, it's got really heavy riffs. It's a great album. Long story short, they broke up after a big tour they did with Oasis and Black Crowes called the Brotherly Love Tour. Each band has brothers in it that famously is known for not getting along, so it's kind of funny. But it turned out that the Langston brothers just couldn't get along, so they ended up getting into a fight. So fast forward, like what now, 20 years later, They reunite for a West Coast tour. I'm guessing a lot of it came because of them being featured on the Guardians of the Galaxy. So a whole new awareness of their music kind of happened. They had a bunch of re-releases of their vinyl records, which I have. And in Santa Ana, the two brothers got into a fight on stage, which you can see footage on Instagram. I guess the lead singer, there were some technical difficulties, and they got into a heated argument. So the brother, who's wearing like all tight, like this tight black thing, I don't know, I guess he pushes his brother and he falls on the floor and he just lays there, right? The lead singer just lays there while the other guy yells. And then after a little while, the lead singer gets up, he goes over and he just goes into song. He goes into the song that he sings. Last night, now I only know this because Josie had told me her and her husband went to go watch them. She's like, hey, I don't know if I want to tell you because it's going to ruin your enjoyment of the thing, but these guys got into a fight and they're known for it, so they might not even play tonight. So I'm like, we'll see what happens. I show up and I've not seen these guys ever live. I know how the lead singer looks. I don't know how the brother looks.
Yeah.
So the whole night I thought that the guitarist was the brother. Turns out it wasn't him. Yeah. So I'm guessing he just said, screw you guys, I'm going home. Which, by the way, is in LA, so he wasn't that far away.
Oh, okay. So he just said he called in sick.
Yeah, pretty much. But they were great. And yes, I'm wearing a shirt.
And there was another band that was opening up for them, right? That was unbelievable.
So EMF, when I bought the tickets for the show, I was like, I'll just get there late. I don't have to watch them. Dude, I'm so glad I watched EMF. I was not prepared for how good they were.
Yeah,
they were phenomenal. The guy had tons of energy, like a lot of stage presence. They're obviously it seems like the lead singer and the guitarist in that band are gay. It's something that you couldn't notice in their videos of for Unbelievable and that other song Lies, I guess. But they were advocating, like they did a song specifically called like LGBTQ plus or whatever. It was great. They were great. They were phenomenal. Good music. They even did a little medley of like 90s like dance hits, like EDM songs. Like the CNC Music Factory. They did Fire, the Prodigy, Fire Starter.
Yeah.
And they did New Order's was it Blue Monday? I forget which one, but it was so good. They were just so good. And by the end of the show, like everybody was like jumping and dancing. It felt like we were in a British show without, the cups of pee being thrown at people. Which I don't know if you know this, but in Britain, like those big congested audiences, they pee in their cups and throw them at each other.
Yeah, they do that also in Brazil.
I did not know that.
Remember?
Nasty.
Remember, what was it? Rock in Rio concerts that MTV used to do back in the 90s?
Rock in Rio. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So in one of those Rock in Rios, there's a famous story of one of my favorite bands, Faith No More, and the eccentric but genius Mike Patton. So this was during their first album together when he joined Faith No More, and they were big with the album The Real Thing. So they went down there for the whole thing. They all speak a little Portuguese and a little Spanish, and all of a sudden someone just threw just a water bottle onto stage. And of course, Mike Patton being Mike Patton, he encouraged more. So he turned around to the crowd and he's like, más cosas, más.
No.
So all of a sudden, there is a barrage of just cups and bottles and just going at it as they're singing Epic and they're just playing. And there's video of this. I'm going to see if I can find it. If I do, if not, sorry. Anyway, so it's going, when all of a sudden someone throws a bottle full of piss on stage.
I got a request. If you can't find the video, could you put that one drunken guy from The Simpsons, the technical difficulties guy?
I will. I'll put him back. So there's this water bottle with piss in it in the middle of the stage, and throughout the whole set, the whole band is like, hey Mike, look at it. Hey Roddy, it's right there. And everyone's just like, dude, there's a piss bottle on the stage. Yeah. So at the end of the concert, Mike Patton goes over to his monitor in the front, and he's singing. I forget what song it was, but he's singing. And it's like the last verses of the song, and like the last chorus. He goes over, grabs the bottle, opens it up, and just golden showers himself all over, mouth open and everything. And then he's like, "Thank you, Brazil," and he left the stage.
That's wrong.
Mike Patton, God Bless you.
No, and that's probably why Roddy Bottom, the synthesizer keyboardist guy, left and did Imperial Teen. No, actually, he never left. He just they just went
side
hiatus.
project. Well, they went on hiatus and then he came back afterwards. I love Roddy Bottom. He's great.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of Imperial Teen, man, that's a band that did not get their due. They had 2 songs on the Jawbreaker soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the Faith No More side projects don't get their due.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And you know, Mike Patton himself has so much eclectic work. He has, I don't know if he still does. You can look it up, Mr. Fact Checker. But I think he has the Guinness World Record for most octaves, I believe. Or used to have. Mike Patton. He's also fluent in Italian, some Portuguese, some Spanish. That guy's amazing. He's also, you know what else he did that a lot of people don't know? He's also a voice actor. He did all the voices of the creatures in I Am Legend. You know, the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend?
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
All the screeching and all the screaming, that's him. Also, what's the other one? Oh, do you remember a comic book? I think it was from Image called The Darkness.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Was Jackie Esposito, I think was the name one.
They turned it into a PlayStation 2 video game, PlayStation 3 game.
And an Xbox one. Okay. So, he's the voice of all the Darkness figures, all the creatures in that game. So, that's him, too. It's crazy. Oh, he also did the music for that, too. I don't know. The guy's just... I'm a big fan of his. Yeah, I think as eclectic as he is, I'm a huge fan of all the stuff that he's done and all the music that he's performed under Fantomas, under Faith No More, under all that crap.
So, according to Google, it says Mike Patton, the lead singer of Faith No More, is known for having a very wide vocal range. And while claims of the world record are often debated, he is widely recognized for possessing a vocal range of 6 octaves, which is exceptionally broad. This wide range allows him to perform a variety of vocal styles, from low growls and screams to very high-pitched notes. And yeah, actually, 6 octaves, if you think of a piano, I mean, you're almost like halfway through the piano register.
72, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good. I imagine not a lot of people can do that, especially safely.
Yeah.
Because it requires like a real understanding of your vocal cords.
Yeah.
Because you can damage that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Axl Rose. Like now, he can't do as well as he used to. Like he's still, I mean, he can sing, but I mean, it's not how it used to be.
Well, do you remember? Okay, so we talked about this when we did when we did our Fifth Element like retrospective with Doyle was still with us, and we talked about that performance of the opera singer in the show, in the movie, and how possible it was when when initially like they wanted to like have somebody sing it, and they had the notes written down and everything. They're like, no, this is inhumanly possible. Yeah. And then later on, I want to say it's a Chinese.
I want to say Korean,
singer.
but you might be right.
Well, some Asian performer was able to nail it, but as I understand it, it would take a lot out of her vocal cords, because it would require a shifting from very high to very low, and then do what's called a glissando. A glissando is when you go from one note down to the other, but you slide into it. So da 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 da, like. Oh, yeah. So it's kind of like almost like a descent or ascent. Mm-hmm. And so that can really mess your vocal cords if you don't, get proper training.
I wish I could sing. I've always wanted to be able to sing.
Yep. Me too. Anyway. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, I can keep a tune.
I sound like a cat in heat.
I feel like I sing good.
I've never heard you sing.
He says that while he lisps with his braces on. How you doing there, buddy?
I can sing good. No, I've never heard you sing.
Yeah, you have.
When?
In the shower, man. He's in there doing like... Hey, what's your go-to song, bro?
My go-to song?
Yeah, what's that tune? What should you feel?
I don't know. I can never choose any music. I always my favorite song is always changing.
Yeah, but what song do you comfortably sing? We all have. I mean, dude, like I don't love, for example, what's a good one? I don't love like I like the Gorillas a lot, right? And I really like Feel Good Inc. It's a great song, but it's not my favorite at all. It's not even close to my favorite, but that's a song that I just naturally, like whenever I do karaoke, I go into it because it's just something that I'm very comfortable doing. So you know what I mean? Like we all have like that comfort song, like, well, we'll just sing it.
You know what song from Gorillaz I'm kind of obsessed with? Broken and Blue.
Which is that one?
Where did we come from?
Nope.
Through the mist. No, it's from Humans.
Don't know it.
It's great.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you know what?
Busted
That album, like was a slow cooker for me, because other than like that really really catchy kind of like rap song in the
Which
beginning.
one? You don't like Clocks? Clocks on the wall, talking watches on my wrist. It's the moments we relive.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's not the first song. That's the third song.
Okay, whatever, dude. But that's the song, because it was they did that with De La Soul.
Rest in peace. Yes.
And that's a really good song. It's got a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds exactly what I would have wanted. What's his name? Damon Albarn, the lead singer of Blur, who's the guy who does Gorilla.
He's 2D.
That's the sort of like feel that I wanted that guy to go into, especially when you listen to like Blur albums.
Because Enrique wants to feel good.
I want to hear good music.
No, it's a great album, dude. Also Cracker Island's good. I love all their stuff. Even like
Oh yeah, Cracker Island is amazing.
Even the Fall. The album The Fall, I think, is a masterpiece, considering the whole album was done using only one of these suckers.
So I mean, okay, so Cracker Island was just a single. It wasn't part of a big album.
Cracker Island was an album.
It wasn't. I got to go back and listen to them, because I know that the single was amazing.
No, Cracker Island, the song is great, but the album itself is
I guess
amazing. You have what's her name, Grace Slick in it. You have Bad Bunny's in it. That's the only song that I don't like. It's the only song from the album that I don't like.
If you're gonna try to sell me on something,
don't mention Bad Bunny.
Don't mention Bad. I am not a fan of that guy.
You know what's funny though? I'm not a fan of his music at all. Like, I despise his music because like that.
But his wrestling.
But his wrestling ability and his comedy ability is
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, he is hilarious. Look up Bad Bunny SNL, and his skits that he does are so funny. That guy has great comic chops.
Okay, I'll check it out. But
and I give him credit for that, and his stance against ICE and all that is I give the guy respect, because most of Puerto Rican Americans or just Latin Americans, most of them would be like, nah, like I'm American, so in that sense. But
well, I'm sorry. It just I kind of want to maybe should save it for the next for our next recording. But I'll tell you. I love that video footage of that lady who's they're part of this like Cuban rally.
Oh,
either
yeah.
Puerto Rican or Cuban rally, I forget, but
Cuban.
I know it's in Miami.
Cubans for Trump.
I'm voting for Trump, and they're all like dancing, singing, like it's like the most joyous thing in the world.
They're like going towards the camera, and then one of them dances, and then moves to the side, and then the other one goes forward.
And it's all like the thing is, all of this is happening like as part of big performance. I guess it was a rally for Trump, and everyone's all like joyous. And later on, the footage cuts to the same lady who's like crying that I guess either her or her husband were getting deported.
Her husband.
And it's like, I mean, what did you expect to happen? It's like,
Well, it's the thing is that most of them think that it's not going to happen to me because I voted for Trump. I'm safe, and it's like wah wah.
Okay, so you can look
satisfying in the world.
There's no real easy answer other than like on one hand, there's like cognitive dissonance. We've all become like psychologists now because we know that word very well. It also like speaks to like this idea that you can separate yourself. You can disassociate, where you think like it's happening to them, therefore it cannot happen to me. And so once it starts knocking on your door, you're so confused. But dude, it's like he made it very clear. He wasn't hiding that he was going to come after everybody.
He said it in the front. Like it's like, what do you expect? It's just stupid to me how people are acting like, clutch the pearls. It's stupid. But
hey, by the way, we remember when we were doing the whole thing about like idioms and sayings, and we were like, clutch the pearls. We never said that.
Yeah.
And now I hear it everywhere. Like I've gone back and seen like what was it the on In Living Color? Remember the two the really funny skit with the
Antoine or
the two gay movie critics.
hated it.
And it was like, clutched my pearls. It's like, okay, that's probably where it came from.
That's where it came from.
That's so funny.
No, I only use clutch the pearls now because of the fact that we brought it up on that episode. And it's like, I've never heard us use that term. Yeah. But I do remember it from Living Color. But it just wasn't like, it wasn't I'm not going to say it wasn't used like talk to the hand. Like,
talk to the hand because the face don't listen. Or
all that in the bag of chips. It wasn't used like that way. So
well, today girls are a snack, but back then it's like you're all that in a bag of chips. Like
a snack.
Well, that's what the kids say. That's like, dang, you're a snack.
Isaac, is that true?
I don't say that.
Well, okay,
but some of your friends do
but people say it. I'm sure you've heard it.
I have heard it before. Yeah,
people say it, dude. Like people, that is a thing. People say stupid crap like that.
I haven't heard that in a while, but I have heard people say that. Yeah.
That's hilarious to me.
So okay,
I'm sorry. I'm at that age where like I'm out of the loop on a lot of things for the new generation, and like I have to go to either Isaac or my wife and ask, and my wife gets upset with me because she's like, she gives me the whole eye thing, and she's like, "How do you not know this?" Or like, "Oh, it's everywhere. You should know this." And it's like, no, dude. Like the algorithms for me are very precise and like strange. Like they're not normal algorithms. So there's a lot of things that I'm out of the loop with, like La Boo Boos. I caught on really late on the La Boo Boo thing.
You mean Munchie Cheese?
I love Munchie Cheese though. I love Munchie Cheese. They're very similar. Yeah. By the way, I had said earlier on another podcast that like I was like, those things are ugly. I hate them. Right? As a joke. Yeah, I want one now.
So okay,
I want one because you'll see. I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have one, and I'm gonna put it here as part of our set. You're gonna love it because you're gonna see what it looks like.
No, forget that crap. I've seen them already.
No. This one's gonna be a special. You're gonna enjoy this one.
Okay, so to tangent off of your tangent, and to get more philosophical there. Have you guys ever noticed how it feels almost like time moves fast now?
Mm-hmm.
Have you like we can chalk it up to maybe thinking like, oh well, we're older now, so therefore the days seem shorter. We're busy. We have busier lives, but it seems like across the board, even young people, everyone feels this sense of speed in between.
Time relativity has changed for the new generation as well. Yeah,
for sure. Like you can measure it by trends and fads. Like for example, like La Boo Boo, the wording. Like right now, Isaac was saying, "Well, I haven't heard it in a while." It's like, but funny enough, like on Instagram and on like all other socials, it's a word that you're hearing a lot more, and then it's gonna fade really fast. So this idea of time dilation and just how fast things go, perspective. There was a guy in 1998. He was I know that he was a scientist of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what. I'll have to look back. But his name was Terence McKenna. And he actually spoke about, he was having this interview, and he passed away in 2000. So it would have been interesting if he was still around and be able to comment on this, because it almost seems like a lot of the things that he talked about. 25 years ago. Yeah, it almost seems like the things that he talked about in this video are coming to light. He essentially talked about, and I'm super paraphrasing him because I'm not going to do it justice, but I'll explain it the best I can. He said that without making him sound like a crazy dude, because he's more eloquent about it, the universe is sort of like this like disassociated consciousness that ultimately is trying to coalesce, like come together. And the way it's doing that and the way it's happening is by like all points of reference connecting. Now, if you think about it, in the 60s, 70s, 80s information, we've talked about this as well, where the way we get information was very different. And so therefore, like, we can sit and marinate on certain catastrophes or certain movements. Like we would sit on those trends until we turned on the TV again the next day or heard the radio. But generally speaking, like we were, like when we were playing Nintendo, like for us, Mario lasted for like, 2 years. But
because you would just, you had nothing else. You would just pause it, put a pin on that, come back to it later.
Same thing with movies, same thing with cartoons. There was just a sense of like, you can breathe and really take it all in. But now the interconnectedness, for example, of the internet and everything, time moves so much faster because we have so much more happening so much quicker. So therefore,
we got to digest faster.
And we just can't. We don't digest it. Instead, we're bombarded with this information. And so our days feel shorter and smaller. Now, our traditional measurements of time, like we're talking like the atomic clock and stuff like that, none of that's changed. Like, on a biological, on a physics level, the time is the same.
Time is a sickle.
But us as people, because we actively create our perspective of time, we've like as a social group consciousness have like sort of like agreed without agreeing that time is shorter because so much happens so much quicker and we have so much more information that we're processing.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting part is that he talks about how things, and this is in 1998, how things are just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder to a point where we're going to become so aware of the weirdness of it that we have to confront it. And he gave examples about like, I want to say he gave examples about how there's going to be lots of contradictions around us, things that are not going to make sense. I'll look at it, for example, UFOs and UAPs, and how we changed that terminology because we're trying to legitimize it now more. Because before, the government was all like, no, UFOs don't exist. It's just, weather phenomena, blah, 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 blah. And now
swamp
it's like...
gas.
And now, swamp ass.
Swamp ass.
Yeah. Have you washed your ass lately? Have you seen those videos?
I've got swamp ass.
Well, anyways, so because of those things being, they're becoming more accepted, the weirdness of it all, we have to confront that weirdness.
Right.
And that sort of stuff like leads to this idea, and ultimately he says that there's going to be a kind of inflection point. He calls it, gosh, I'm trying to remember the term he used because it's really profound, but a transcendental, it's a transcendental, oh gosh, I forget it, but essentially what we're not going to be able to look back. And it seems like what he was really pointing at was this idea that biologically life has been linked to matter, meaning us, but we're suddenly now going to be able to escape that. And if you think about AI and you think about prosthetics and you think about how we're creating all of these artificial forms that are, so essentially life can exist outside of a body, suddenly eternity it becomes more probable. Like, and this is where we get into like the Black Mirror era of stuff, where this idea that time is going to be very different because, the speed of light, all that stuff. And again, all of this is from the video and he's way more eloquent about it. He says that we cannot reach the speed of light physically because it's going to destroy our bodies, right? But we do even now, and we have for many years, we send information almost at the speed of light. And what are we turning consciousness and life into? We're turning it into information. Mm-hmm. The AI, the internet, all of this stuff is information.
Well, just look at the AI itself. If you think about it, like how fast of a turnaround it is to how it is now. You have like that stuff that I showed before, the Veil 3 and all the other things that are coming out. It's AI has just taken leaps and leaps from when we started, like when we first started talking about it back when we had Rosie the Robot as our promos and stuff. Now it's just so intense. It's crazy. I've seen some videos that I'm just like, I can't believe it's not real. I don't know. It's scary because now it's like you're going to sit there and be like, is it real? Is it not? And then the funny part is now that celebrities or politicians and stuff, they'll get caught on video and their excuse will now go to, that wasn't me, it was AI, which Trump is already doing.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Explain.
I don't know. I don't remember, but a couple months back there was some kind of report or something, and he mentioned on it, and he said that's not true. That was AI. Yeah. I'll have to find it, but I was just like, dude, seriously, that's your excuse? What are you looking at? Oh, Chat GPT.
Yeah. Okay. If you're running out of stuff to talk about, give me a different signal so that way we don't do that.
No, I'm just wondering because I'm like, what are you talking about?
See, if we were better at this, then we were like H3 or like Joe Rogan or something.
H3,
he'd continue talking while I'm like back here trying to pretend that I'm like knowledgeable about something, and I'll find it, and then suddenly I'll interject it. And you guys will be like, "Oh, these guys are so smart." Say, what are you looking at?
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
What are you looking at?
So what I was looking at, H3 was Ethan, right? That's the guy's name?
Yeah, they suck.
Okay, so I started listening to H3 a while back, but then like he got kind of weird. What?
I was laughing at you guys.
Oh,
Because it's true, right? Isn't it true?
Yeah, yeah.
What I just did, like, it's like, you know, like, can we just, you know, can we?
no,
Can we
no.
just-
I was just curious. I see you typing, so you're like,
Well,
and I'm like, dude, what is he typing? It's like a whole essay over there. I'm like, what is going on? It got my ADHD going. Like, like it just got my attention. It's like, you know, don't shake the bird in front of the fucking cat because he's gonna look at it. But anyway, so H3, I started watching him or listening to him because he was on another podcast I used to listen to, which I can't stand now, Two Bears One Cave, and I thought he was interesting at first, but something's going on with the guy. Like, have you been seeing lately, or have you been following? It's like off his rocker. He's
always been that
he's
way.
now got Tourette. Well, I guess so, because I'm my late bloomer to this, who is whole shtick.
the problem was before, when he first started, like, I mean, I'm gonna have to admit that I watched him, but I didn't really like. I wasn't a huge fan of him, but he had a larger like group, and so he was able to deflect off other people. But it seems like now, you know, over the years, obviously, HD for a while was the biggest podcast in the world, and obviously that's not the case anymore. Not even near the case, but he's still very popular.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of like falling outs with different either YouTubers and also different podcasters
And different acquaintances.
because he went into he really went all in on the exposing like fad that was like prominent in YouTube about 5 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I forget how long ago.
The minute I started watching him, what was it? Remember, what was his name? God, my wife is gonna kill me because she's always talking about the guy, Jeffree Star, I think.
Oh yeah, he went all in on that.
Yeah, I think Ethan had designed with his wife some sweaters or something, and then Jeffree Star kind of copied the style, or at least Ethan thought he did. So he was just like bombarding him with like accusations and threats and just insults, and it was pretty crazy. That's when I was like, oh, this guy's pretty interesting. At least I thought, you know, for then. But then I noticed he was doing it to a lot of people, and it was just vile, and I was just like, ugh. And then now I see it, and he's all Touretted out. He has all these new, like, what do you call them, like just tics. I think he's just nervous because of everything that's going on, and he sees his empire crumbling. I mean, that's my, you know, I'm probably projecting.
So 2 things. One, I'm going to comment on earlier. I'm going to circle back to earlier. So I use ChatGPT while we're talking because I have a lot of information in my head, and if you listen to the podcast over the years, like I know like things broadly, but I have very like I don't know if it's an executive functioning thing, but for sure like my memory is very slow, and ultimately I get there, but it takes me a long time to go around it. So I try to use ChatGPT as a shortcut to give me bullet points so that I can remember information, and also things that I just don't know. I try to look it up, and usually I'll try to tell you guys, and I'll tell you if it's something that I'm seeing for the first time, because I don't ever want to come off as like I'm some expert on something that I've just recently read off ChatGPT.
Trust me, we all know that.
So earlier I was looking up, I was trying to look up Terrence McKenna, and I wanted like a summary of that video because there's a few interesting points, but since we're moving on, it's not really relevant anymore. But right now what I did was I'm looking up ChatGPT for Ethan Klein controversies, and so it gives me like some really good interesting bullet points of things that I know happened. I didn't remember them at the moment, but now that I'm reading them, I remember when those things were happening in real time, and so it just makes it interesting, so I can sort of bring those points up if it's relevant in our conversation, and that's what I'm doing. So usually, like if you're hearing me typing furiously, I'm not necessarily doing a paragraph. I'm just like doing quick research and trying to find that thing so that we can like actually have some information for you guys, as opposed to just like, you know, us just talking out of our opinions. Now,
you know what it is that you have your tablet on an angle, and I can see the thing in the corner of my eye. So now I'm like,
yeah.
Before you had it like right here, and like I think when it's closer, I don't really.
You know, the problem is I have to charge it because it was like it was, and so I'm closer to the charging thing. So
that makes sense.
Obviously, look, guys, we're like a Mickey Mouse operation. So this is the goods. This is what you guys get.
Oh boy!
So please talk smack, or like we're here for Isaac's Entertainment. Who, by the way, he's on his phone playing the game, so he's clearly not interested, which is fine. I'm not a teacher right now calling it out, telling you to continue playing. By all means, I encourage you, because this is the goods, guys.
So full disclosure, there was another episode that I'm still working on that's supposed to come out before this, but because of the ice things, we postponed it, and then we're going to postpone it again because of this episode. So there's going to be a slow delay on these things. I just wanted to point that out right now. Yeah. But it is what it is. It's
at this point, we're a hobby that hopes to someday actually make something of it. But
meh.
So you guys can talk all the smack you want. I don't read the comments. I want to at some point engage, because it'd be nice if we actually had people that were wanting to engage. And if people want to talk smack, that's fine too. I don't necessarily mind it. But right now, I'm not reading comments only because I recognize that we're a Mickey Mouse operation, and honestly, if you guys are using us for like a source of
news, stop saying Mickey Mouse. Disney's gonna sue us.
If you guys are using us for a source of like news, man, I'm so sorry for you. Then we're part of the problem as well, because we're not. Like, everything we're talking is full opinion. We may give you facts as we see them, but we are, okay. So this show that I've been watching. And I just finished it. It's called The Morning Show. It's on Apple Plus.
Oh yeah. Don't tell me, because we saw 2 episodes and then we stopped. Because
I'm gonna have to give you guys this, because I think it's really relevant to us, like in our world now, for everybody. So there's a sort of like diatribe toward one of the last episodes of the 3rd season, in which the guy is talking, like he's making an appeal. That's fine. He's making an appeal to the audience as far as why you need actual corporate in like news, because the thing is that there is a group of of people and things that happen in order to vet information. And while we're all very suspicious about like agendas, right? We're all very suspicious about agendas. The fact is that you have a lot of people that are involved in providing you guys the news. Angel, there's no spoilers right now. You can listen. Okay. Anyways, and providing us the news. So like, there's fact checkers. There's people who are making sure that they're confirming, something that's being heard. And when you have a podcaster, they're not doing that. Like me. If I see something on the news and I tell you about it right now, right here, that's it. I've just done that. I've given you that information, and there's not me double checking and fact checking. There's not me getting a 2nd or 3rd or 4th source in order to vet it. I'm not doing that. On a corporate level, like even to some degree, Fox News does it, even though they spin it for their purposes. Matt Murdock does it. CNN does it. They all do it. It's incumbent on us as audience to look at multiple sources, but at the end of the day, we do need these large news agencies, because they do more due diligence than any individual does. And I'm sorry, if all your news is coming from one guy or 2 guys like Tim Pool, or coming from like
Charlie Kirk,
or like David Pat, I forget the guy from the left, I'm trying to remember what his name. If that's your only source of news, these guys are not going out and doing second sources. And I'm not saying that they're actively lying to you, although I think Tim Pool is, but that's my bias. They're not out there getting 2nd, 3rd sources. They're not waiting to report something to you after they've confirmed like 2 or 3 different people. They're not doing that. So anyways, my point is that we shouldn't be, nobody should be like just your one source of news. That's all I'm saying. And there was no spoilers there, Angel. You
I thought you were giving spoilers.
No,
it's because you tend to go off on tangents and give details about things, and it's like sometimes it's like, don't tell me because I haven't heard it, so that's why I kind of blanked it out.
I was able to make the point without like giving a plot point.
All right, fair enough. I just wanted to say, okay, sorry.
That's it. I'm done. Tangent over.
Huh?
Tangent over.
Oh, well, now you're away from the microphone, so I don't know what you're saying.
Tangent over.
Okay, well, there you are. Anyway, so like I was saying, that's one podcast that I was following, and then I know my wife is huge on, what's her name? Tisha Paytas? Tisha Paytas? Is that her name? Monkey, do you know who I'm talking about? Is it Trisha?
Don't think so. I'd have to see.
Trisha Paytas? Yeah, Trisha Paytas. My wife is big on her show.
No.
No?
I don't know who she is.
Oh, well, okay, so that
She looks like an OF model.
well, she is like an ex-porn person or something like that. But no, it's
Nothing wrong with that.
no. She had a show with him called Frenemies because they
Okay.
did not get along too well,
Okay.
and which I found entertaining. But I guess it was like a character she was playing and this and that, and they had a falling out because
yeah. You know, I think I kind of. But go on.
They had a falling out because she secretly started dating her brother, and he didn't like that because he didn't approve. And also,
She was dating her brother.
no, she was dating Ethan's brother.
Got it. Okay.
So I know the other one was more interesting.
Yikes.
No, she was dating Ethan's brother, but I guess they were trying to set up this thing where they were going to do kind of like a bachelor type thing on the show, and with Trisha, and then I guess since she started dating her brother, that put a whole kibosh on the whole situation. And of course, Ethan threw a tantrum like he's doing all the time. I'm not gonna say much more because I know he's suing anyone who complains about him now.
Is he
online.
really?
Yeah, he's going after a bunch of different YouTubers for talking smack, and he's like, well, that's defamation of character. So he's actually going out like he has a bunch of lawsuits right now with different YouTubers.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
We'll put a pin on that part, but I'm just reporting what happened. And now she's getting more popular. Her star is rising. She's on SNL. She's doing musicals now, which is always her dream and stuff. So you could tell he's like bitter party of one because he goes off on tangents for like 20, 30 minutes on his podcast, just talking crap about her and bringing things up like her weight gain and stuff like that, which is like very petty. But
Yeah.
that's what he's doing now. And then he's like, then with his weird mood swings on the next episode, he's like, he's sad because he hasn't met his nephews, her kids, because they got married. The brother, I forget his name, but
Right.
whatever his name is, they got married. They had 2 kids, and now they're estranged. The relationship is estranged. So on his podcast, he's airing out dirty laundry, and he's like, I don't even get to see my brother. I don't get to see this because of her. And it's like, no, Dick, it's you. You like. You don't see a pattern of what you're doing with all these different enemies that you're making. I don't know. It's just fucking pathetic.
Well, it's like conversely, like think of Bobby Lee, and
Lee.
He had a podcast with well, he still has a podcast with his friend, but he also would have his for a long time he had his girlfriend with him, and they had like a falling out, or not a falling out, but I'm guessing she cheated on him, or I don't know. There was some controversy between them. I don't know the facts.
I don't know the details.
But she doesn't come out anymore. But they're still friends, apparently. I mean, but he doesn't talk smack about her. Like whenever, like the joke, he jokes in because Bobby Lee, is always good for the joke.
Yeah.
But you can see that he really doesn't. He's really not interested in like defaming her, even though like a lot of people like took sides, and from the little that I know, because I got this kind of 20,000 like view of the whole thing, because I remember seeing it like on like headlines or whatever, and but I think she was flirting, or she did cheat on him with some other podcaster guy, good looking guy, and Bobby Lee is like not the best looking guy, but hell, whatever, everybody has their type. And so he would like, he would show that he was mad, but then he would like reel it back with jokes, and so you could never tell. But that's kind of his shtick.
That's his shtick, yeah.
So,
like, have you seen the famous video where it's apart from his podcast where he's like, he says, when I was a kid, I was
yes, I know.
I was molested by what was it, a Chinese guy with Down syndrome or something?
What you need to do is like, what you'd have to do is show the video, because it's great if you can find it. Because it's like a good joke. You start off with one piece of information, and then he's very serious, and they even changed the music, and all of a sudden his co-host starts laughing, and he goes like, "What?"
And the guest,
"Why are you laughing? That's not funny." He plays it really straight. So then he goes, "Okay," so like I was saying. So then he says the same thing, but he adds another descriptor, and then they start laughing, and they go like, "Did you have to say that?" He goes, "Well, it's true." He goes, "Okay, whatever, guys." And then he goes back, and then he adds another detail to the name, and just each time it just gets funnier and worse at the same time.
Yeah, that's the thing about Bobby Lee. I've always loved his humor. I know he's not big, but I just love Bobby Lee. His stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
The one that I'm actually kind of curious about. I don't know why we're going on podcast by podcast, but rivalries and stuff.
No.
Okay, so there was Bert Kreischer. You know who that is, right?
No.
Bert Kreischer is a
Sounds
famous
familiar.
comedian because he told this one story called The Machine, which is something that happened to him when he was in college, when he went to Russia and he got involved with the Russian mafia by
Yes,
accident and all that.
I do remember
he's part
this
of
guy.
Tom Segura's best friend and stuff like that. Okay, so this guy, I did, like I said, I used to listen to Two Bears One Cave, but I like Bert. I can't stand listening to him because he's like me on cocaine. He's just like really, really over the top. He doesn't hold an attention span whatsoever, and he is hyped up galore. So there's a lot of listen, and then oh my god, and he doesn't finish anything, and then he laughs at his own jokes. So it's just you just hear like, oh my god, imagine if.
Oh gosh, that sounds annoying.
And it's just a lot of that, and you're like, all right, dude, stop. Like it's just too much, and he always has these great ideas, and he's like a little kid. Like he gets so hyped up that he's like seriously jumping up and down in his chair because he's like, oh yeah, we should totally do that. We should totally do that. 100%. So after a while, it just got annoying to me. And then the more popular Tom Segura got, the more ass he became. Like he started flaunting his stuff all around. And he lost the weight because now he was a chubster and he looked like us. And then now he has money, so he can get a personal trainer and all that stuff. And good for him. Ozempic, well, before Ozempic.
Oh, Ozempic.
Well, and so now he has a super expensive cars. He moved out to Texas because it's cheaper for him. And all this stuff, and he's flaunting like his new fortune, but he's doing it in a really like shitty way. And then when someone brings it up, he bad talks them on the air.
Yikes.
So just that bad vibe from all around that I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. So I stopped listening to him. But my point being is, Bert Kreischer had another podcast with Bill Burr.
Do you hate Mexicans?
Yes, I do. So you know who Bill Burr is,
Oh,
right?
the power.
You know Bill Burr.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, yeah. Well,
Who doesn't know Bill Burr?
Hey, I don't know. Well, they had a podcast called the Bill Burt podcast.
Okay.
And they would come on and they would talk and all these things. And this was about 3 years ago. And there was an episode where they were talking about sports. They had another guy on. They were talking about baseball or something. And I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember it got heated where Bert started talking crap to the guest. And they were like, "What are you talking about this night?" And it got stupid. It was like a stupid argument that had no point. But that was the last episode of that podcast. And then, as I did a little Reddit search, I'm like, "What happened?" Because I did enjoy it. And on Reddit, they're saying that I guess Bert and Bert Kreischer and Bill Burr unfollowed each other on other socials and stuff, and they don't mention each other at all anymore. At all. And Bert did say a comment about some comedian that he's no longer friends with, and everyone thinks they're talking about Bill Burr. But I don't know much about it. But I've always been curious about that one. Like, I don't know, when there's beef between people on the podcast, and I just find it interesting. It's like, is it fame that gets to them that makes them change, or is it just time?
No, okay. So people don't necessarily change. I just think that like fame and maybe self-perception and become more obvious. What I mean is this: look, there's people who are temperamental no matter what, and then suddenly self-importance kicks in because you maybe do a podcast and then you get a little bit of fame behind it, and suddenly you start to think, well, okay, I'm the linchpin of this, so now I'm going to be, I'm going to act a certain way. I'm sorry, but like if you're on a podcast with Bill Burr, who's like widely becoming like the next, like
Jon Stewart.
No. I'm thinking of oh gosh, you made me forget his name now. She's George Carlin.
Oh,
I mean, nobody's going to be George Carlin, and honestly, one good candidate would have been Dave Chappelle. Like he's very.
I think Dave Chappelle would have been great. Yeah.
And still, he is the closest that we've gotten to a George Carlin in the sense that he speaks like truth to perspective. The only issue I think that the difference is that I think that Dave Chappelle is he has a lot of interesting and weird biases on things that his message, while he's being very true and honest to himself, they don't resonate with me in probably a good part of the world. So maybe it just speaks to more the division that we have in our society. Anyways, George Carlin just seemed to be somebody who kind of sort of pierced through that. And both sides were able to be like, he's onto something. And I think Bill Burr is kind of like that, except because, again, we're so divided. It's easy to also look at, Bill Burr's stuff and be like, well, he's not a leftist, but he certainly has very leftist views. And I say that as if it's a bad thing. I hate that the word leftist is turned into a bad word, just like, anyways, long story short, I feel like if you're on a podcast with Bill Burr, and that guy's like gonna say some stuff, and you're gonna have to have a thick skin, because Bill Burr is like, he's gonna ream you for stuff. Like, I mean, listen to his the show that he did with John Lovitz. Man, those two were like at each other's throats, and it was hilarious. It was really awkward and cringy, but funny. Why? Because both of them have very thick skin, and they just were like trying to one up each other with they were just like, and they were getting personal but funny. And I think that's just the mark of a true professional. The other guy, the podcaster, is clearly not a professional. He's just a guy who fell into it. I don't know. I mean, what is he known for? The Russian thing?
The machine.
Yeah.
Actually, he has another claim to fame. You know that Ryan Reynolds movie, National Lampoon's Van Wilder?
Mm-hmm.
That's based on him.
Well, yeah. I'm actually reading about the fallout between Bill Burr. So yeah, again.
Oh, there is? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, no. Van Wilder. Van Wilder is based on Bert Kreischer's college days. So I guess there was a article on Rolling Stones about this party animal in college that was not graduating or something, and that was dumbass Bert Kreischer. He was the character. So they did this article, and then that article picked up steam, and then some producer saw it. They're like, let's make a movie out of this. So they created the character Van Wilder based on Bert Kreischer, and that's
interesting.
Basically the whole thing.
So just to do a quick summary based off of like the ChatGPT and sort of a summary online, it seems like that Bill Burr and what's his name, Bert, whatever, they have still strong mutual respect. They've gone on record, and they've said that the reason that they haven't done a podcast is more logistical and not necessarily any real confirmed drama or grudge between them. So I don't know what you heard, but supposedly there really isn't anything to that. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, some people are just really good at sort of like saving face.
Yeah, but that's what I say. They're more than likely saving face. It's kind of like the whole like when famous celebrities break up and they're like, although we do care and love each other, we've decided to go our separate ways.
Well, that's Bobby Lee and what's her name?
Creative differences, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Lee and his ex. She's like, we love each other very much.
Or us with our exes.
We're still the very best friends. Yeah, no.
Us with Doyle and George.
That's you. They're never going to hear this, so whatever.
They're never going to watch.
Yeah.
So read between the lines.
Your dick. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna put like a little screen here so you can see what I do. Yeah.
Well, or you can get a longer cape one, just put it back where it used to be.
I could do that. That's true. That would be a very good solution.
Yeah, but anyway.
Or maybe you could go see a therapist and get that shit fixed.
You know what? I do want to see a therapist, but have you seen how expensive it is?
Oh yeah. How's that online BetterHelp?
BetterHelp.
Stuff?
Okay, BetterHelp. The last time I checked was like, I think it's like $120 per session.
That's not bad.
I mean, but
who has $120 right now?
Yeah,
so I feel you,
dude. I was gonna tell you, like,
yeah.
like who? I'm not negative.
Can I split it into 4 payments through PayPal?
Klarna? Do you think Klarna? PayPal. No, but yeah, dude. Like, and then I started thinking, like, dude, with all this stuff in my head, and like, that's a lot of sessions.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money, dude. So I just put a pin on that. I am gonna go back to it as I'm right here tearing on my finger from my nerves, but yeah, no, BetterHelp is expensive.
Yeah, and then right now, like with the current administration, like they're getting rid of all, like if you have like insurance, they're going to make it much more difficult. Like for a while there, I thought like people were getting wise to like the insurance scams that we have. Like there's no reason for us to have a middleman. There just isn't. But nope. Like that's what this big beautiful bill is all about. Is like supporting the middleman that ultimately feeds the 1% up. So thank you all. Thank you, all MAGA supporters. Thanks for that. We appreciate you for that.
Isn't it funny that they're like, MAGA's like, oh yeah, Trump is the president for peace. He's here, not like Biden, who's always like a warmonger. And then he goes and fights, he shoots missiles at Iran. He's like, yeah, he's doing the right thing. He's defending the country. He's like, make up your mind, dude. Is he the president of peace, or is he the defender of America going over to Iran to shooting for weapons of mass destruction that don't exist? But okay, whatever.
So a lot of the communities here in Southern California are not going to celebrate 4th of July as a city, because usually the cities like Bell Gardens, Cudahy,
they're not. They
have big. We've had big fireworks shows. I'm sure, like any other little city across the country. And I love those, like 4th of July for me felt very patriotic. I love what it represented. But we're not going to celebrate it, and everyone's going to turn it into a political thing. But the fact is that it's not safe.
Well, we had the mayor. Well, actually, back then he was not. He was a council member. But Giorgio, remember him?
Yeah,
at the Bell Gardens thing. Well, he's now the mayor. He was on KTLA.
Oh, right, yeah. So we did, like years ago, we did a live show of our podcast with an Angel, or it was me, Angel, Doyle, and George. We were all there at
all four of us,
at Bell Gardens. It was cool, and we got to talk with him. We got to interview him. That was fun.
We got to talk to him and the mayor at the time.
Yeah.
Gloria.
So now he's the mayor. Interesting.
Well, because how in Bell Gardens they actually like rotate. It's not like a full like mayors anywhere else.
Most of these little small cities, you don't vote for like one mayor. You vote for like a
Pro
council
and all this other ones,
and then they sort of like circle, like they take turns being the mayor. I don't know how. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't understand it too well, which I don't know, maybe I should take the time to,
because you live in Bell Gardens.
Well, so, I care about politics, but clearly not my own like local ones. That's stupid, but I need to fix that.
Yeah, so now he's the mayor. He was on KTLA talking about it, and I'm very proud of the guy. Like, he did really well. He was on there and he was talking about, they took the hard stance of canceling it due to, the current environment and the hostility towards the Hispanic community, especially Bell Gardens and Cudahy. And was it KTLA or Fox News? I don't remember which one of the two. I think it was KTLA. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because you could see that media does still have that agenda of pushing buttons and trying to just like
sensationalize the situation. Mm-hmm.
Because not only did they ask him, like they were trying to like bait him into a question, like how does he feel about the administration, which it wasn't the topic in hand.
Right.
But they also threw in the whole situation with Cudahy that just happened with the
So the context of that was, okay, first of all, Cudahy, super small little town. I like literally
couple
maybe
blocks.
It's about 15 blocks. It's really small. If you look on the map, you have Bell Gardens, you have Bell. Then they're two pretty. Bell Gardens is not that big of a city, and Bell is much bigger though than it, and that connects to Huntington Park. I'm sure you guys have heard about Huntington Park on the news recently, because
and then Southgate,
the things that have been happening in Huntington Park just recently, like you had like this like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 like SWAT looking guys who are clearly not SWAT, but they're all decked out in machine guns, and they bombed the door to open it, and really all they got was a lady and her 2 kids who were sleeping.
A citizen.
It's so bad, so stupid. Anyways, Cudahy is a small little town, super small. So the dumb lady, because I disagree with what she said. Okay, she goes out and says like, well, where are the gang members? You guys talk about protecting your turf, and I'm paraphrasing. She's you talk about protecting your turf. Why aren't you out here protecting your turf?
Yeah,
it's like, don't do that. That's stupid. I don't want gang members out there like with guns fighting ICE. I don't want that. Do you want that? I don't want that. Because it's not going to just be them who gets fight. We're giving the administration exactly what they want. Martial law comes in place, and then we will have like the military in our towns again. And this time they'll have real probable reason for it. That is so stupid and irresponsible.
Enrique, I survived the drive-bys of the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through that shit again. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we all did. Bell Gardens, like
exactly
in the 80s. Like, okay, look up a movie called Colors.
89.
Look up a movie called Colors.
Yes, Colors.
Look, there was also
that's a biography,
right? Well, Boys in the Hood,
Menace to Society.
All these movies were about the Southern California gangs, and we're far removed from that now. Like, there's still gangs, but they're much smarter.
Yeah,
and most enterprises have been consolidated into larger like conglomerates with cartels and what have you. And I I don't want to pretend like I fully understand it. I just know that in my streets, I don't see gang activity the way I used to. Because I grew up in Bell Gardens that at the time, I'd walk out into Gotham Street and where's Batman? I wish Batman was there because like literally had gang members up and down the street. Like we had the King Cobras, we had the Playboys, we had Bell Gardens Locals.
Yeah, PG Locals, I was going to say.
PG Locals, we had the Brats, we had Rookstown, and God knows all the other bands. We had 18th Street.
18th Street.
So all of these gangs were around, and yes, drive-bys left and right.
Left and right.
It was crazy.
The last time I moved out of Scout, which was actually, pretty little street on Foster Bridge, there's a riverbed on the other side, and it's like a very, like, I don't want to call it cul-de-sac, but it's like cul-de-sac-ish. It's like a really, really small street. There was a house across from where I used to live, and we were actually like 2 days out from moving out because the owner had sold the house. There was a huge out war. And I'm not talking like 1 or 2 cars. I'm talking like 4 cars. They were shooting at my neighbor's Cito's house to the point where the guy got on the roof with a rifle, like the Old West, and he was just shooting at the cars going by, and they were just shooting at him. It was chaos. All I remember, I was like 8 years old. I got thrown on the floor by my dad and my mom, and we were like, I'm telling you, it was right across the street. And you know how small Scout is. It's a very narrow street, so you're like right on top of each other. It was very traumatic for an 8-year-old, and that was like the biggest drive-by I've ever been in. But
yeah,
I digress. Yeah, do I want the gangsters to go out there and do all that? No, but I do see her anger. I do see why she said that, because of the fact that the maggots are trying to paint all these arrests as criminal rapists and sex traffickers and all this stuff, when they're not going after these people. They're going after just regular undocumented immigrants because it's the easy catch. They're not going into Linwood, into the gang areas. They have not caught one single gang member. Why? Because they're not stupid. It's all for show. They're not going to go out there and actually put their safety on the line.
Well, yeah.
They're cosplayers.
I don't know about all that. I mean, that sounds like a gut reaction thing. I don't have facts for that. All I know for sure is that what I do know is, for real, they're not targeting criminals. That's true. If they did target criminals early on, they probably got a small percentage of them. Now they're just going after anybody who they perceive as being undocumented. It's the reason why there's a lot of mistakes that have been happening where they're getting citizens, right? And so how many times has it happened? You heard on the news where somebody gets taken in, they're kept in for a day or two, and they find out that person's a citizen. See, I mean, the reality is that in my neighborhoods, that's a real issue. That's a real concern. So much so that me, and I'm sorry if if you don't mind me, I carry my passport with me. I have my passport with me now. And I have my kid with his passport card inside his wallet. He doesn't go for walks alone anymore, right? I might have mentioned this before.
He did.
He's 21. He's on the spectrum, and he used to go for these long hourly walks. And there was it was his sensory thing, his social thing, and he can't do that anymore. Because if somebody stops him on the street, I'm afraid that he's not going to be able to engage with them in a way that's going to be safe for himself, and he's going to... I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but that's where we live in now. So I have to carry my passport, and it's so embarrassing. Like, for example, I forget where it was, where like I had to take it out of my pocket and put it down because I was going through a security check. Might have been Disneyland. I forget where. And the person said, "Oh, where are you traveling to?" And I said, "No, I'm Mexican. I have to hold on to it." And you guys can laugh about it, but I've actually been asked when I was coming out of what was it? The Superior over in Bell Gardens is one of the supermarkets. I was asked if I'm a citizen, and I just said yes. Leave me alone. And then
by who?
By a guy. Like there was a guy. You know how there were guys behind the market.
Yeah.
I went there to the market to go get stuff. I didn't know they were there, and I was asked as we're coming out. They were asking people, just randomly asking people.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. I am. And so the reality is that I have to carry this thing around. Now I haven't been asked since then, but I'm not gonna take any chances. I mean, if I like last night I went to the Spacehog show over in LA. I didn't see anything out there, but you best believe I have it. And you guys can laugh about it, think I'm exaggerating, but this is the reality we live in right now. So thanks, MAGA.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
You know what? I want to say, like, we had thanks Obama for some years, and honestly, I hated that. But hey, thanks MAGA. Let's do the hashtag thanks MAGA.
Now, I don't have a passport, so screw me. But also at the same time, I'm very angry about the whole situation. So I think I'd be more confrontational about it than you.
Do you have the?
I don't have real ID.
Yeah, get on that because that's becoming mandatory.
I have my ID. I do have my birth certificate, but I'm not showing it to anyone who does not identify themselves.
The next time that you have to renew your driver's license, you're gonna have to show them your birth certificate, social security, and all that stuff. So because it's gonna have to be the real ID.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy. That's all it is.
Sure.
Oh, I don't have it on me. Never mind. Wait.
He's driving dirty.
No.
Get you driving dirty.
Actually, I have the digital.
Get you driving dirty.
Have you gotten the digital copy?
No.
I have it on my phone.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a program. They have a digital copy on your phone now.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's still not valid.
I just renewed it.
You just renewed it. When was this?
Last year, I think.
Yeah, actually, that's probably why. As of this year, if you want to renew your driver's license, you're going to have to provide like documentation of who you are, because they're not giving driver's license anymore to. They made it illegal to give driver's license to undocumented people, because for a while you could get a driver's license for undocumented people,
which I found kind of odd. I'm not one of those, but I always found it odd that you can just give it to someone without proper paperwork.
So here's the thing. If you're undocumented, it implies that you're invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Any way to bring people out of that darkness into the light is a good thing overall. One, we can tax you. Two, we can hold you accountable for the other laws. Like, I know that everyone, like any conservative or named magazine say, well, they're here illegally, they're already breaking the law. Okay, cool, thanks, bro. But the fact is that they're here, and and a lot of these people are trying to work and make money and whatever. So at the very least, they should provide into society while they're trying to get some legal path into immigration, legal immigration status. But that doesn't exist anymore. There is no legal path.
No.
So giving them licenses means that if they get into a car crash, we can hold them accountable for it. Because people...
Yeah, I've heard that. That defense before. And I get that train of thought. I just think it's strange that, I'm torn, because at the same time, it's like, I get it. I understand being from, immigrant families and all that. But shouldn't they have at least made it easier for them to actually fix their paperwork? I don't know why they put so many obstacles in front of certain people.
Okay, so you have to look at it. You have to look at bigger picture, little picture. Like, and dude, like, you're a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Are you can you fix the big systemic problem, or can you attack the smaller things first that are like, they need to immediately be fixed in order for whatever it is you have to do to get done?
That's a bad...
Well, the reason I'm being...
That's a bad comparison, because the fact is...
I'm being
as a contractor, I'll tell you, like, it depends on the project. Like, for instance, if you're telling me, like, Band-Aid on a bullet wound kind of situation...
Yeah, I hate those kind of exaggeration things, because
I get it.
Because they're just idioms now, and people just can look past them. Okay, let me see if I can give you... Let me give you a better... I don't know that it's a better example, but I mean, the best way I can think of it is this. Let me just get into the actual thing. Getting your paperwork, like getting immigration status, is a long and arduous process.
And
it takes
expensive.
many years. It's expensive, of course, but it also takes many years, and there's no guarantee you're going to get to it.
Yeah.
All the meanwhile, like 10, maybe 5-10 years can pass where you are not, you're working, but you're not being paid, you're not paying taxes. You can't drive a car.
Yeah.
And so you might drive anyways, because you have, like, how else are you going to get to work? Now, someone's going to say, well, you shouldn't drive. That's illegal. That's true. But
you have to do it, especially
but
like
give
LA.
them a license so that they could do it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, yes, you have this big problem that needs to be fixed, but there's all these little things that we can do immediately.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to say, hey, look, let's just give them a license. We have them on the records. We have their name, their address.
Accountability, liability.
That's all I'm saying.
I get it too. No, I get it too. I'm just...
Anything else is
torn.
ideology. Anything else is just ideology, and you're it's like the atmosphere in a rocket ship. You're trying to, like, get out of the atmosphere and you can't because you're being held down by ideology and bias and whatever. And, so it's not,
and I'm torn because it's like I don't have the answer for it, but it's like even if I go like, well, they should give them a different kind of license. It's like no, then you're singling a certain group out, and that's not fair. But anyway, I don't know. The conversation got away from me.
Yes, it did.
So I just want to say,
let me change the subject. Have you watched 28
years later? Not yet because I'm busy with the kids. And
okay.
It's 4 of us that want to go see it.
See,
Isaac, Michael, and my wife and I.
This is what I hate about Angel.
Oh, this is what you hate about me. Not everything else, but this.
Like,
okay.
All this good stuff that I've watched, I can't talk about it because he's one of those guys.
Hey, Enrique, have you watched Squid Game season 3?
Hell no.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about it now.
Please.
No,
see, that's just it. I don't care. Like I'm fully capable of being told like the plot points of something and still very much enjoy it.
I don't like that. But
there may be 1 or 2 things in which I really do want to get surprised on, and I'll ask politely. But but more often than not, if it's like for example, 28 years later, if you were to like watch it before me and you told me, hey, can we talk about it? I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I want to hear about it.
Yeah,
because there's nothing revelating in that's going to destroy the enjoyment of the movie because it's more of a spectacle and a feel. So knowing the plot points doesn't destroy that.
Yeah, I disagree. For me, if it's something that I want to enjoy, carte blanche. I don't want no input whatsoever. Although we are going to go see Superman, you and I.
All right,
we're going to see it.
Okay,
and then we'll talk about it and review it on the show.
Sure, but dude, honestly, I really wanted to talk about 28 years later because it's such a. I really, really liked it.
We'll talk about it.
It's very interesting.
We'll talk about it 20 years later from this episode. And remember, never make eye contact while eating a banana. Peace and hair grease.
Mm-hmm.